It's been a long time coming. Because of what we did on this day, at this defining moment, change has come to America.
Go back inside your house.
Go back inside right now!
I am inside.
We have a real chance at this new world order. An order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
After 1989, President Bush kept said, and it's a phrase that I often use myself, that we needed a new world order, and instead it looks like we've got a lot of disorder.
Then I stood on the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rising up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and on his horns 10 crowns, and on his heads a blasphemous name.
Attention, citizens are required to carry at all times, compliance with all city personnel and orders.
Now the beast which I saw was like a leopard. His feet were like the feet of a bear, and his mouth like the mouth of a lion. The dragon gave him his power, his throne, and great authority. And I saw one of his heads, as if it had been mortally wounded, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world marveled and followed the beast. So they worshipped the dragon who gave authority to the beast, and they worshipped the beast, saying, "Who is like the beast? Who is able to make war with him?" And he was given a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and he was given authority to continue for 42 months.
We're dealing with a Luciferian plan. People need to recognize the God of Freemasonry will lead the whole world system into a one world government, a one world religion, a one world law system, and a one world money system that the Bible calls the mark of the beast.
Disperse. If you do not disperse, you may be arrested and or subject to other police action.
Now we have a totalitarian government. And the totalitarian government wants to watch everyone, total surveillance of everyone. They listen to the telephone conversations, they look at your credit cards, they look where you travel. We are totally policed. This is contrary to everything in our Constitution.
All who dwell on the earth will worship him, whose names have not been written in the book of life of the Lamb, slain from the foundation of the world. If anyone has an ear, let him hear.
All of these things, it is a part of the New Age movement's agenda to establish a one world government system under which Lucifer will be acknowledged as sovereign. Why? Because our minds will be already acclimated to receiving these demonic suggestions as something that is good, because we have enjoyed it in our music, we've enjoyed it in our television programs, our cartoons, our video games, and in our clothing. But the devil is trying to make it his resting place, his throne room. Why? Because it is the agency, the platform by which the devil can reach the masses in the shortest period of time, and you're falling for this garbage.
Talk about the New World Order defined, as you have, as being Luciferian.
Yes.
How do you know that?
My investigations led me to look at the back of the American dollar, and I found these strange seals on the dollar here. They're Illuminati seals, which was a secret society set up in 1776 by a man called Adam Weishaupt. And on the back of the dollar here, you see the seal on the left-hand side, and there's an eye in the triangle. It's the eye of Horus in Egyptian mythology, now called the eye of Lucifer or Satan. The two words at the top, Annua Chaptus, stand for announcing the birth of, and down the bottom, Novus Ordo Seclorum.
And that great seal of the United States has on it, Novus Ordo Seclorum, a new order
And people should be asking the question, what is an Egyptian pyramid doing on the back of an American dollar? What link up is there between America and Egypt? The answer is none at all, except in the field of the occult. And thus we see we're dealing with a Luciferian plan. People need to recognize the God of Freemasonry will lead the world system into a one world government, a one world religion, a one world law system, and a one world money system that the Bible calls the mark of the beast.
This is the world you are graduating into. A new world order for the 21st century.
And basically what we know for a fact that there's going to be a changeover from the old order to a new order, a rule by Satan himself. That's what that symbol refers to, and that's what the New World Order refers to. In the King James, 2 Corinthians 5:17 says, therefore, if any man be in Christ, he is a new creature. Old things are passed away. Behold, all things are new. Notice how the New English Bible renders this verse. It says, the old order is gone, and a new order has begun. They're using the same language. The King James says, which stood only in meats and drinks and divers washings and carnal ordinances imposed on them until the time of the Reformation, talking about Christ coming. But notice the NIV calls it until the time of the new order. They're preparing people. Now I want you to notice this. In Isaiah 28:16, in the King James, the Bible says, therefore, thus saith the Lord God, behold, I lay in Zion for a foundation, a stone, a tried stone, a precious cornerstone, a sure foundation. This is referring to Jesus, right? And I want you to notice that in the King James, they're telling you that Jesus is the cornerstone of the foundation. Now, where's the foundation in relation to a building? On the top or the bottom? It's on the bottom, isn't it? Okay? So when they say that Jesus is the cornerstone of the foundation, that's down here, right? Unto you, therefore, which believe he is precious, this is the King James, but unto them which be disobedient, the stone which the builders disallowed, the same is made the head of the corner. Again, on the foundation. Notice that the NIV calls him the capstone. They're saying that that symbol that you see represents Christ. It doesn't. It represents who? Antichrist.
The time is short. A great falling away from the truth. It's happening. It's right here now.
All of these things, it is a part of the New Age movement's agenda to establish a one world government system under which Lucifer will be acknowledged as sovereign. Why? Because our minds will be already acclimated to receiving these demonic suggestions as something that is good, because we have enjoyed it in our music, we've enjoyed it in our television programs, our cartoons, our video games, and in our clothing. But the devil is trying to make it his resting place, his throne room. Why? Because it is the agency, the platform by which the devil can reach the masses in the shortest period of time, and you're falling for this garbage.
If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and faith of the saints. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. And he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand, or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666.
If you are now, or have ever been, a parent to a 15-year-old, you know just how impressionable and fickle they can be. Keep that in mind as we tell you about a shocking new policy in one western state that would allow 15-year-olds to have sex change procedures done without parents even knowing about it.
Tennessee courts reversing a controversial decision aimed to replacing the words mom and dad, mother and father on certain court forms with parent 1 and parent 2.
You know, the only difference is between the back alley butchers and today's abortion clinics is that they let you in through the front door. The procedure's the same, the instruments are the same, they let you in through the front door.
Tupac on a song called Smile talking about selling his soul for fast cars and riches. That's who was saying that. And even Snoop Dogg on a song called Murder Was the Case, he was talking about selling his soul. You know what I'm saying? How he politicking back and forth to the devil. And I knew that if those demonic spirits was real, if the devil was real, you know what I'm saying, and he was offering me a way, then I knew that God was real. Actually, it came down to it that dudes actually started being used by demonic spirits. And these spirits start speaking through them. You know what I'm saying? Devils start speaking through them, talking to me, asking me, you know what I'm saying, if I was going to sell my soul, telling me what I needed to do to take my career to the next level in darkness. Never really heard the gospel in its purest, you know what I'm saying, in purity and in truth, you know what I'm saying. I ain't know that Jesus Christ was the only way.
Yeah, I believe in the Illuminati. There is a certain level that you get at that you can't go no further unless you're aware of certain things. And I'll leave it at that. You know what I'm saying? There's a certain level that you get to, that there's a door that you have to walk through. And it's on you to walk through that door. And once you walk through that door, there's no coming back.
Some of us are against the Illuminati, and we are against the Illuminati at our own detriment. When people are against the Illuminati, then they get punched in the face all the time. The press hates them, and nobody likes them. End quote.
We all love Dave Chappelle.
Exactly. Dave Chappelle has never been a part of the Illuminati. They don't want him or me or people like us.
Now, most people do not understand the Illuminati. I kind of like it when people go out here and say, boy, he's nuts. Because they'll go and they'll try and research to prove that I'm wrong. And the more they research, the more they start believing me. It is impossible to research the Illuminati without coming away a solid believer.
This is Luke Gradowski. I'm here, and I finally, thank God, met up with Lupe Fiasco. I wanted to bring up the New World Order. What are your thoughts about the New World Order and elites coming together in secret to consolidate power?
You know, I think the New World Order is something that's deliberate, and it's in the public. There's a mass of people that are completely disillusioned, a mass of people that are completely uneducated about how that system works, about themselves. You know, like, understand exactly what's going on. What do you think about that? What do you think about the Illuminati?
It is out there. There is a force of people that just like control everything. What do you got to say to that? You're not scared? Like, you know, they might like, you know.
Nah. Because at the end of the day, it's about power and control.
Yeah.
You know, they control the world.
You can kind of piece it together as to why they are so insistent in spending hundreds of millions of dollars on propaganda money.
And music is a whole another area that employs these techniques. Popular music, all popular culture, movies, TV, music, they carry messages, and it's not just entertainment. Entertainment is not value-free. It has ideological content. It presents a worldview that influences the people who are watching or listening. So we've got this disconnect, thinking that entertainment is harmless when it's the most important delivery system of propaganda, because it influences people without their conscious awareness, and that's the ultimate in controlling people in society, is to do it without them being aware of it.
New world order for the 21st century.
Well, you'd have everyone believe that you're the sole authority. Just follow the majority, afraid to face reality. The system is a joke. Oh, you'd be smart to save your soul. Oh, and escape this mind control. You spend your life in sacrifice to a system for the dead, blinding through you through mind control, stealing my eternal soul, appealing through material to keep me as your slave, but I hug it out.
I pray that you will stay, my friends, with this great book, the Word of God. This truly is what we need to turn to. The time is short. A great falling away from the truth. It's happening. It's right here now.
And it shall come to pass afterward, that I will pour out my Spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams. Your young men shall see visions. And I will show wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before the great and the terrible day of the Lord come. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be delivered. For in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance, as the Lord hath said, and in the remnant whom the Lord shall call.
The story exposes a secret society called the Illuminati. This shadowy group has a very real secret. It's a story of money, murder, and mystery right here in the Valley.
We will make a lot of money. We are all living in the world they created. Other organizations that shall remain nameless.
How far are you willing to go to change the world?
Ladies and gentlemen, the very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned, no secret is revealed. That is why the Athenian lawmaker Solon decreed it a crime for any citizen to shrink from controversy. I am asking your help in the tremendous task of informing and alerting the American people, confident that with your help, man will be what he was born to be, free and independent.
Out of the European history comes the Illuminati, meaning enlightened, a super-secret organization of international financial power brokers in Europe that had as their goal a world empire and a new world order. Their leadership consisted of Satanists and atheists. Ironic that followers of the Prince of Darkness thought of themselves as the source of light, until you look at the Bible and recognize that Satan himself disguises himself as an angel of light. Their objective, the Illuminati, was to kick God out of society and that man should rule it.
The war began only because our own cities and civilians were attacked by violent extremists who plotted from a distant place. And it continues only because that plotting persists to this day.
The New World Order is not a new concept, and yet it is a very current topic. I don't believe that I've ever preached a sermon in 50+ years that had already been preached in the front pages of America's newspapers.
This is a different kind of war. There will be no simple moment of surrender to mark the journey's end. No armistice, no banner headline.
Well, secretive and elite. The Bilderberg Group unites the world's most powerful people behind closed doors. It's been happening for decades. Some even believe it's a venue where the world's most rich and powerful conspire to carve out a new world order.
Why are there 130 of the most powerful world players in banking, mining, oil, food, media, defense, and politics? Why are they all getting together and meeting in secrecy behind closed doors without any congressional oversight or really any awareness of what it is they're talking about?
The second appearance of the New World Order came when Satan met Jesus in the wilderness, and he said, "If you will fall down and worship me, I will give you the kingdoms of this world." Now understand this. Satan had been given geographical control of this part of the universe, and he had it within his power to do exactly what he said. Satan was cast out of heaven. He became the Prince of Darkness. Prince means someone in authority in his kingdom. Wherever there is spiritual darkness, Satan has authority. Get that in your mind. That's why Jesus said to the church, "You are the light of the world. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven." If you have a United States dollar in your wallet, it bears the phrase "One World Order," the seal that was adopted by Congress in 1782. The seal that's on the left depicts an unfinished pyramid with an all-seeing eye at its top in a blaze of glory. Beneath that pyramid are three Latin words, Novus Ordo Seclorum, which means New World Order.
Out of these troubled times, our fifth objective, a new world order can emerge, a new era, freer from the threat of terror, stronger in the pursuit of justice, and more secure in the quest for peace. An era in which the nations of the world, east and west, north and south, can prosper and live in harmony. 100 generations have searched for this elusive path to peace, while 1,000 wars raged across the span of human endeavor. And today that new world is struggling to be born. A world quite different from the one we've known, A world where the rule of law supplants the rule of the jungle.
Fuck the police! Fuck you! God. Grenade. This is the grenade that they're throwing at us. What is it? Big 240A OTG aerosol grenade.
A world in which nations recognize the shared responsibility for freedom and justice. A world where the strong respect the rights of the weak.
Which could cause risk of injury to those who remain. By order of the City of Pittsburgh Chief Police, I hereby declare this to be an unlawful assembly. I order all those assembled to immediately disperse.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order.
Airborne and controversial. Concerned citizens like Larry Miller say the U.S. military's use of drones overseas causes him to worry about how they could be used on U.S. soil.
Could be a drone aircraft. That's an aircraft that's guided electronically to its target without...
What is at stake is more than one small country. It is a big idea, a new world order, where diverse nations are drawn together in common cause to achieve the universal aspirations of mankind: peace and security, freedom, and the rule of law. Such is a world worthy of our struggle and worthy of our children's future.
The limits of debate in this country are established before the debate even begins, and everyone else is marginalized. They're made to seem either to be communists or some sort of disloyal person, a kook, there's a word, and now it's conspiracy. See, they've made that something that should not be even entertained for a minute, that powerful people might get together and have a plan. Doesn't happen. You're a kook. You're a conspiracy buff.
An order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders. What is at stake is more than one small country. It is a big idea, a new world order, where diverse nations are drawn together in common cause to achieve the universal aspirations of mankind: peace and security, freedom, and the rule of law. Such is a world worthy of our struggle and worthy of our children's future. Now we can see a new world coming into view. A world in which there is the very real prospect of a new world order. In the words of Winston Churchill, a world order in which the principles of justice and fair play protect the weak against the strong. A world where the United Nations, freed from Cold War stalemate, is poised to fulfill the historic vision of its founders.
It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned, no secret is revealed.
Thank you.